So yeah, as I said, he's talking about the state of the Premier League and the way football has evolved in the last couple of years in the Premier League, and I have to agree because there is a lot of emphasis on set pieces right now, which is the reason why maybe he was talking a lot about set pieces this season, and he was mentioning a lot about set pieces, and when an early season they were losing games because of set pieces, and that's why maybe Liverpool, in the first half of the season they were struggling a lot in set pieces, and then they brought in a new set piece coach before the new year starts, and then since 2026 started, they've been fantastic in set pieces in Liverpool. So I can stand where he's coming from. By the way, those set pieces, when a lot of people talk about set pieces, it's not only coming from Arsenal. People think, oh, Arsenal is the problem. No, not only Arsenal who are focused on set pieces. Teams like Brentford, who rely a lot on throw-ins and corners, they're also one of those kind of teams who do that. Bournemouth, I mean, when they scored the winning goals against Liverpool, I think a couple of weeks ago, they scored from a throw-in. So it's not just corners. There's throw-ins as well. If you look at set pieces goals scored this season compared to last season, you'll see a huge difference. Even when there is like 9-10 games to go for all the teams, you'll see a huge difference in terms of goals, in terms of everything, in terms of goals, in terms of involvements, in terms of chances from set pieces. So yeah, I mean, of course, when Manchester City and Liverpool were playing great football, the Premier League, every other team was trying to copy them, was trying to play out from the back and play tiki-taka, play attacking football, be very good football. Right now, other teams are doing the same. Like, and this is the biggest mistake. And this is not like, this is when Arne Slot is talk about the state of the Premier League, and a lot of teams are focusing on set pieces. But that's the problem. That's the fault of other teams as well. People, a lot of teams right now trying to copy what Arteta, as Arsenal's doing in terms of focusing on set pieces, whereas other teams are doing that as well. In the past, I should say, there's been cases like that. I mean, other teams tried to copy Antonio Conte's Chelsea with the back three thing. Other teams tried to copy Pep Guardiola's Manchester City with this tiki-taka playing style, attacking football, and playing out from the back. And now teams are doing that for Arsenal and Arteta, which, again, the biggest mistake from other teams. I think all the teams should have their own style of football, own style of play, not copy and see, oh, this guy's successful in what he does, that means we should copy. No. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you might see a football manager or a football player successful in what he does in his style, but you have to have the players who can do that. You have to have the players, and you have to have the tools, and you have to have, things that are there to make you think like, yeah, we can do it in this style. But those teams don't have it. Those teams don't have those tools to try this kind of tricks like set pieces, etc. So yeah, I mean, you have to do. I mean, of course, there's more focus on emphasis set pieces. That's without a shadow of a doubt. That's why Liverpool brought in a new set piece coach, as I mentioned. Brentford scored a lot of goals from throw-ins and set pieces. Arsenal the same thing. Bournemouth, like I said, scoring the last minute winner against Liverpool from set piece. Crystal Palace, I think, when they beat Liverpool, they scored a couple of goals from throw-ins and set pieces. So, of course, yeah, I agree. And that's why you have to give credit to teams like, let's say, Manchester City right now, because Guardiola and Man City right now, for sure, it's not the greatest Man City side you're going to ever see, like we saw in the past. But they stick to their principle, they stick to their philosophy, and they stick to their own way, to their own style. They don't be like, oh, this team is good at what he does, so that means we have to copy. No. Yes, Guardiola and City have adapted. They started to be like, okay, we can win in different ways, but they're not like, yeah, let's change the whole philosophy and focus more on set pieces. Because if you have a philosophy and you're successful in your philosophy, and then when you're not successful in it, it's not like, oh, now I have to change my whole philosophy and copy what others do to be successful again. No, You can make tweaks in your philosophy, but doesn't mean you have to change everything. You know, if you change everything, then it's going to be the biggest mistake. Because yeah, you might be successful when you change the whole philosophy, but it's going to take a lot of time to do it. It's going to take a lot of time to get across to the way you want to go about your things. So that's why I give credit to like Guardiola and City, because they're like, you know, when they see other teams more focused on set pieces, they're like not like, oh, that means we have to change the philosophy. No, they stick to their principles. Of course, they have to make some adaptations and adjustments, but doesn't mean you have to like change everything. So yeah, and yes, of course, you know, this grappling and wrestling, and as Arneslot said, hitting the facing the goalkeeper, which is something it would be better avoided, because you wouldn't like to see these kind of things happen in the Premier League in football. You would like to see, you know, you don't want to see this grappling. Yeah, the physicality is not an issue, but like this grappling and wrestling thing is, yeah, it's not. I don't think I don't think anybody would like to see that. So yeah, it's a bit like WWE at times. So by the way, I'm not talking about Arsenal. Just for the sake, I'm not just talking about Arsenal. Arsenal, because not only Arsenal do it, other teams also do it as well. So let's not like people, a lot of people, because I say that because a lot of people say Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. When we mention set pieces, people say Arsenal, 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 Arsenal. Arteta. It's not just Arsenal. Other teams do that. It's not just Arsenal. Other teams do that. So yeah, but going to the game, Wolves against Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool have been a good run of form in terms of results. Performances can improve, of course, but it's about winning games right now for Liverpool, especially this kind of territory where we're getting close to the business end of the season. They're now 3 points behind Aston Villa, 3 points behind Manchester United. So it's going to be very important for Liverpool to keep winning if they want to get top 4, top 5. The 3 points clear of Chelsea. I mean, Aston Villa, I think who Aston Villa going to play? I don't know who they're going to play, but they're going to play Chelsea at home, so they could potentially drop points in that game. So to be important for Liverpool to win that game and close the gap more on potentially Aston Villa, and maybe Manchester United as well, because United have been good form, but they go away to Newcastle, which is not an easy game. So it will be very important for Liverpool to win this game to close the gap on Arsenal, to put a statement out to Aston Villa and Man United. Okay, your turn then. So yeah, but it will not be easy for sure, because Wolves are a good side. They've been a good side, sorry, in the last couple of months. I'm actually going for a draw here. I think Wolves will get something from this game. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. So yeah. Coppa Italia, you've got Inter Milan against Como, the first leg. Como versus Inter Milan, first leg at Como. I mean, Inter Milan have been exceptional domestically this season, not so much in Europe, but exceptional domestically. Como, same little thing, except they don't play in Europe. They've been fantastic also in Serie A, 5th in Serie A, which is incredible. And if it depends on if Serie A gets an extra spot in the Champions League, they could finish, they could qualify for the Champions League next season. But I don't think they're gonna get Champions League football. I think it's too much for them, in my opinion. I think Juventus will come back, but they should get Europe. I think they should get Europa League for sure. With the way they're playing right now, how well they're playing, the job that Cesc Fabregas is doing, and you could say, I know Como are not the top of Serie A, but you could say Como playing the best football in Serie A right now. Inter Milan, they've got quality players, but could you really say that they're playing the best football? Maybe yes. People say yes. People say no. AC Milan, no. Napoli, no. Roma are a very good team. They play. They can score goals, but they only scored 37 goals this season, which is much less than Juventus and Inter, AC Milan, other teams. And the Como have scored the 3rd most goals in Serie A this season. 2 goals behind Juventus and way behind Inter. But you could say they play the best football in terms of how they play, how they attack, how they approach games, how they play football. They've been fantastic this season. So, you know, you can clearly see the Fabregas has done a very good job. This game, you know, I think both teams would like to win a trophy. That's another case as well. So, Inter could win the domestic doubles this season, whereas Como could win their first trophy. Yeah, I think club's history. I don't think Como won a title before. So, big game for both clubs. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Copa del Rey semi-final between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Huge game for Barca. Atletico Madrid obviously won 4-0 in the first leg. Huge game for Barca. Can they come back? Listen, it's possible. It's possible they can come back. Anything can happen in football. Anything can happen in life, in football, in anything. So nothing is impossible, right? But they're going to have to start the game really well, Barcelona. They're going to have to start from the front foot, which they should. They're going to have to score very early on. Atletico Madrid and Simeone for sure will try to sit back, park the bus, make it frustrating for Barcelona as much as they can. Barcelona should dominate the game, should, you know, create chances, dominate possession. And they're going to have to score goals. They're going to have to score goals. They're going to have to score very early on, because I don't think, I think if Barcelona are not like 2-0 up before half time, at half time they're not 2-0 up, I think that's going to be very, very difficult for them to come back. So I think mostly Atletico won 4-0 and they should go through, but I think mostly it depends on how Barcelona start. If they start the game really well on the front foot, of course, which they should, of course, but if they like score 2 goals and they go 2-0 up in the first half, then there's a real possibility that they could come back. It's Barcelona, of course. They have a good history of making comebacks before, so anything can happen in life and in sports. But also Barcelona defensively, they're going to have to be very, very strong, because we all know defensively they've been very exposed a lot of times, especially with that high line that that Hansi Flick uses. So yeah, obviously Atletico and Simeone will try to play with the low block and sit back and play counter-attack. They've improved their form in the last couple of games in La Liga, you have to say. They beat Real Oviedo, they won the Champions League, they beat Espanyol. So they've improved their form a bit in the last couple of games. So they go into this game with a bit of winning form as well. So yeah, big game for both clubs. Much conviction. I think Barcelona will win this game, but I think it will be 3-1 to Barcelona. So I don't think it will be enough for a comeback. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.